Alright, today on Krazy Karl Projects, we halfway fixed a parking brake. And take 3.
Yes.
Director's being picky. Well, hello everybody. And if my director will let me, this should be the final. But not final project, final hello everybody.
It's called an intro. We got to do a good intro.
Don't encourage him. He'll have me dancing and singing next. Nobody wants to see that.
I want to see that. That will be hilarious.
Okay, some people want to see it. I don't want to see it.
If you want to see him dance and sing, let us know in the comments, please. Cheer him on.
Well, working on the F150 again. Brakes, cables. Hopefully that by the end of the day it'll all be fixed. Already started taking the hubcaps off, loosening the lugs, getting ready to put a jack under it, and start the process jacking up, take it apart.
Now, let me ask you, what am I looking for when it comes to something like that if I need to jack a vehicle up? You got a block of wood there.
Yeah, depending on where you're at, normally you want to use something to protect wherever the point you're jacking, and you got to make sure to jack on a point that can hold the weight. For this one, I'm going to jack at the axle on either side, right beside the suspension. Hopefully, if it'll hold. If not, I can do the bell or the rear diff. That's not a perfect spot, but as long as you're careful with it and you don't put weight on the plate, you put weight on the actual housing, which has strength to it, you should be fine. But with that, once again, you want to use the block to make sure you don't damage anything. And advise not to lay directly under a vehicle when you're jacking it up.
I mean, what's the point? It's on the jack, right?
Yeah, but there's no guarantee it's not going to fall. I've had vehicles fall off jacks before. It's a scary situation. And you want to be clear.
I suppose that's one of the reasons why you use a good sturdy jack stand.
Yeah. And you will see me use some that are Harbor Freight, and I know there's been some problems with Harbor Freight ones. Well, the ones I have, I've checked, they're not ones that have had any kind of issues. These aren't Harbor Freight. These are, I don't know what brand. They're Rally? I have no idea. I got them as a gift many years ago. 2003 is the date on them, and that's probably about the time I got them. And as I said, the front wheels are chalked and chalk blocked, so they will not, so it should not shift. And it's on. All right. Now to the other side. And you also notice that I'm doing this and setting them before I take the wheels off, and I will have this set under the differential bell, the jack, as a third point of support, just in case something happens.
Yep.
But never trust a jack to hold. It's just a band right around the axle that has identification numbers and stuff on it. It's pretty badly worn, but it's still there.
Oh yeah, I see it over there. Maybe the editor can circle it on the thing.
It's pretty badly worn, so I can't really give you what it was. Yeah. Probably just a parts ID number. I think I need to replace the spare tire when I finally buy new tires.
Might be a good idea. That thing's probably as old as a truck.
Oh, it is. It's holding air well, but it's got some serious dry rot cracks going down the treads.
So maybe you'll be throwing pieces of tire when you drive down the road with it.
I've only done that a few times.
Yeah, once to a certain someone you were helping to move.
Well, you followed too close.
You told me to follow you.
That didn't mean you had to follow that close.
I was 5 car lengths away.
Well, if you were still getting hit by a piece of tire, you were too close. And that's another update on this. These tires are tires I had already, and they're a whole lot nicer than the ones that were on it. The front tires actually cleaned up pretty good. They weren't too badly dry rotted. and they were just chewed up from gravel. The back ones were gone though. And it slid forward and then slid back down. This is where I talk about you get problems with having one like this. It's so small, it's hard to get it centered. And it slid forward, and you can see the block started to tilt, which means it won't hold as you're lifting it. Come back some. Because you need the lift point centered on the weight you're lifting. Things that make this a whole lot easier is having a lift, a vehicle lift, but that's a future goal.
Is that going to be before or after you make your cannon?
No telling. No guess on that. Which reminds me, I've got to get cannon fused before we do the cannon.
I don't know why, but I don't feel safe with that idea.
Well, if I get a good compressor, I can always just make a compressed air cannon. That'll probably be the test runs on it anyways. And thing me talk about a project I've played around with for a while, and that's actually making a wooden cannon. I know it's been done a number of times. I think Mythbusters did an episode on it, and there were a few others that did things on it. But it seems like an interesting project.
Now we gotta get up and move.
These are interesting lugs. The capture washer on them. There we go. Like I said, that's not lifted anything, that's just set so that it's secure.
Third hold point.
Yeah. Always fun part's getting the drums off.
That was a fun part last time.
And this is actually made to be a chisel or a pry, so there we go.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep, that's how it's supposed to work.
Real quick, could you grab that?
Yeah, I just dumping the brake dust out of it.
All right, so is this a good brake? Or is this a good drum or not?
Yeah, there's no problems with it. It's still, oh, it's very smooth.
Hang on, nobody's seeing. There we go. Here, now we can see.
Right.
So,
other than a good bit of brake dust in it, it's still very smooth. Plenty of metal wall left. It's perfectly fine brake drum.
oh, what would it look like if it was like not a perfectly
If it
fine
was
brake
not,
drum?
you might have a hard lip here where the metal's all worn away. You could end up with a very rough surface where the brake touches, which is very smooth. And the biggest one is this is still round. A lot of times they'll warp. This is a very thick, heavy drum for a truck. But especially in car ones, thinner ones, these will warp. They'll get hot and they'll warp, and then they cause all kinds of chaos when you're braking because the pad can't make constant contact. And these pads actually have a good bit of life left in them too. Cylinder's old but doesn't seem to be leaking, so just a lot of brake dust buildup.
So I see the pads there. Which one's the cylinder?
This is the cylinder back here,
Oh, cool.
and it's dry. It's got brake gunk on it, but it's dry. I got brake cleaning stuff somewhere. All the components seem fine. It's just, like I said, pulling it apart because I got to get to the brake cable. I got to pull it off. I'm going to go get some with it.
All right. We'll be here.
Well, train in my garage. Everything's put away empty. I went and I had brake cleaner, but someone's used it. Starter fluid, someone's used. I knew I was already out of carburetor cleaner, so luckily I don't have to clean stuff too much. The main thing I need was towels. But as I said, it's not that big a deal that it's sparkling. I just want to get some of the dust off of it. And the biggest thing is just going to be, I don't need the brake pads I got, which is nice. Because those are in really good shape. They got plenty of shoe left. This is a brake shoe. They've got plenty of shoe left. They're smooth. They look actually good. They look healthy. So.
And if it didn't have any shoe left, what would I hear? Squealing or scrubbing?
Normally you hear squealing or scrubbing. Sometimes it's a matter of you just don't have brakes. Because sometimes you don't hear these very much from the cab, depending on how the setup is. Cars you tend to notice more than trucks. It's just a good idea to check them, especially if you're having any kind of brake issue, just check them. If you end up having to replace your front disc, just plan on replacing the rear drum as well. Even if the pads are good, it's just good to do that. That way they're all changed at the same time.
I get it, so that way you're not guessing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. If one pad needs replaced, unless it's been an issue that you know what the age on the other pads are, it's just good to change them all the way around when you have to change one.
Cool.
And if you have to change one side, go on and change both, because you don't want one side of the car to have more brakes than the other side. That can cause instability when braking. It can actually make you spin out.
Or insta-drift.
Yeah.
That's what I call insta-drift. Hit the brakes, you insta-drift right into the next lane.
These springs look good too. I think it's just a matter of broken cables. Which I'm trying to figure out. If I can get this cable off without taking these brakes apart, and it does not look good. Spring's right here. That controls it.
Get over there. Where's it at?
It's back here above this is the auto tensioner, the auto adjuster. Yeah. It's above the auto adjuster.
We're getting there. Hang on.
It connects back here.
There we go.
So, and I'm not sure if I can.
Shakiness. There we go.
First thing to do is it comes in right back here. It comes in right here, so I can try to pop that, pull that out, and see what it does.
Engaging the parking brake.
Okay, the cable's not broken.
Serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Is that side locked down?
It did and didn't. Release it. It's released?
It's released.
It didn't return. Engage it again.
Okay. That time I felt nothing, almost.
Yeah, because it's stuck engaged.
Maybe some brake cleaner. Because that freaking thing was heavily freaking corroded.
Yeah, that's it for the brake cleaner. There's not much it is. And that's completely empty.
No.
Well, now it's jammed closed. See, it should be engaged.
So maybe the spring is bad and the cable's good. Yeah, it looks definitely engaged, dude.
Yep. It shouldn't be now. It should be released.
Oh, I didn't release it.
Oh, you haven't. Oh, well, that explains why I won't release.
You didn't tell me to release it the second time.
Still didn't release. Which is more than it's done before, because it's never engaged before. Okay, engage it again. I may not have to replace this one. It may have just needed fiddled with.
Engage.
Yeah?
Yes.
I fixed that side. I fixed it.
Take a photo of it. Here.
Sometimes buying $60 a part worth of parts and you mess with the thing and it fixes itself. You don't feel bad about spending money on the parts either because, you know, now you don't have to put them on.
So long.